In Isaiah chapter 58, it tells us we're to break the chains of wickedness, to untie the ropes of the yoke, to set the oppressed free, and to tear off every yoke. Is it not to share our bread with the hungry, to bring the poor and the homeless into our house, and to clothe the naked when you see him? Do you know the Lord didn't have to come to me and tell me what I needed to do, because the Word of God tells me clearly what He expects. But I want you to know that the Lord did call me to take in the downcast, to love those that have been cast away, that doesn't have anybody to love them and meet their needs. So my philosophy on working with homeless people are a little bit different than most. I went to Washington, D.C. for a conference on homelessness, and the main emphasis to get government money was to get them enrolled in Social Security disability. And I haven't been back since, and I don't receive any government money because I'm faith-based. And I believe the Word of God, and it says that if a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. And at the Resurrection House, people have to prove themselves. And we're faith-based, and I had a lady that stayed with me on Social Security disability, and she's allowed to stay 3 weeks with me. In that first 3 weeks, you have to get a job. Well, while she sat and listened to the lessons, she asked me and she said, "You're trying to get me off of disability, aren't you?" And I said, "No, I'm just telling you what the Word of God says." Well, I want you to know she was getting $630 a month. You can't live very long on $630 a month. And she decided she was going to get a job, and she got a job, and she started making $300 a week. She doubled her income. She became happy because she was going to work every day. She was having friends. She had the excitement of doing something instead of just hanging out. And she's now got her own place. She has a car. She's got a life. Now, you know, I don't put people out on the street because they can't find a job in 3 weeks, but that's what they're supposed to do. And to give you an example, I had a lady that stayed with me, and she was past the age of working, and she stayed with us for almost a year as she worked up in the list to get affordable housing. And she now has her affordable housing and enjoying it. You know, we get a lot of people through the shelter that are physically and mentally challenged. They all have different needs. And, you know, we have a wonderful program here in Chickasha. It's called Opportunity Workshop. And we've got 3 men that live with us, and they live in Virginia Street Apartments. It's an apartment complex that we own that helps to support the ministry. And we have a previous resident that's kind of their house parent. He takes care of them. But those 3 men that are handicapped get to go to work every day at Opportunity Workshop. And it gives them fulfillment. It gives them a purpose, and they enjoy it. You know, another part of the Resurrection House is that I believe that a man's supposed to work if he's going to eat. And I had a man that stayed with me that his dad always told him, he said, "If you don't know how to do it, don't screw it up." Well, Because of that, he never learned anything. And I had bought a building, and we were remodeling it for the shelter, and I'd ask him to come and help, and he'd say, I don't know how to do it. And I'd say, well, you can come and watch me and hand me a tool, whatever, just come on. Well, he'd watch me for a little while, and then he'd say, get out of the way. I can do that. And he'd start doing it. And, you know, he really ended up being a pain. He was at my door 7 o'clock every morning saying, what are we doing today? And, you know, he ended up getting a job with a man in town, and that man said he's the best employee he's ever hired. And it was just a matter of teaching him some simple skills, showing him the abilities that he had. Do you know that we're creating a generation that thinks that they deserve something, and when you get something for nothing, you tear it up. You don't appreciate it. It's not of value to you. And so at the Resurrection House, you'll work if you come and stay with me. But in that process of working, you're going to learn skills. You're going to enlarge the abilities that you have. You're going to enlarge your job opportunities. And in turn, you'll have fullness of life.